This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Located in Atlanta, Georgia, the East Lake Golf Club is the home course to the legendary golfer Bobby Jones. It's the oldest golf course in the city of Atlanta. This is Rich Lerner along with Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, and we'll be calling all the action out on the course today. East Lake Golf Club is the home course to the legendary amateur golfer Bobby Jones. Par 4 opening hole, a beautiful getaway from the historic clubhouse. And from the tee, a player needs to drive down the left side, preferably of the fairway, to have the best shot at the green. The second shot coming into the green, riddled with danger, finding 2 bunkers right of the putting surface and 1 bunker left. That deep trap on the right makes a back right hole location the toughest. Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
That is a green in regulation as the approach shot hits the first green. But he is by no means in for par yet. A lengthy putt coming up. Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Getting set now over the putt. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Has this now for bogey. 2-1 over par early on in this round. Here at the par 3 second hole, it's just under 215 yards and really a good-looking hole. The water is not necessarily in play for the professionals. Bunker left and a bunker just short of the green. This is probably a 4, 5, or 6 iron for most of the professionals. The bigger hitters might be able to get there with a 7.
Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up.
Robinson Crusoe happened to everybody that's played this game.
These putts keep the round together. Oh, I thought he had that. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo. We are located in spectacular Alberta, Canada, in the Canadian Rockies, getting ready to kick off the round here at Banff Springs Golf Course.
The course today, it will play as a par 71, a little under 7,000 yards in total length, designed by the architect Stanley Thompson all the way back in 1928. The original 18-hole course was later complemented by the construction of an adjoining 9 holes, which was designed by Cornish and Robinson. That opened in 1989, thereby completing this marvelous championship layout.
Great history and great views. Let's take it down to the tee. We're excited to call the action today out on the course for you. Frank, with those snow-capped mountains in the distance, this opening hole is really a gorgeous getaway. You can kind of get lost just looking out on the horizon.
Yeah, it certainly is pleasing to the eye off the tee. You see the hole bending gently to the left. Bunker down the left, not really in play.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. Not enough on that one.
It just seemed to baby it.
Now the approach shot here at the par 4 first.
Generous green, just a little bit uphill. Not minute, really. Big green to hit into, though.
Solid play, heart of the green. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
Just a couple of feet, +1 in the early going. Frank, how about the par 3 second hole?
The first of 5 par 3s the players will play today, Rich. This one's surrounded by bunkers, but certainly one of the shorter par 3s. So with a good tee shot here, you can imagine you could easily get a putt inside 10 to 15 feet for birdie.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
This is a cross-country special. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, plenty of scoring opportunities in the early portion of this golf course. We're now at a par 5, the third hole, and it's only 528 yards.
You can see why we're going to see a lot of people perhaps being 3 under through the first 3 holes, Rich. This par 5 bending to the right, very reachable. And just keep that tee shot nice and high off the tee. Let it carry as far as possible.
That's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Frank, you've played golf all over the world. What are your impressions of Banff Springs?
It's nice, Rich. I was actually in Calgary many a year ago, and I'm disappointed I never got to play the Banff golf course. Getting to see it today, it's one that I would have put on my bucket list.
Couldn't have done much better than that. An eagle is very possible. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. One under early in the round. Now to another par 3. This is the fourth hole, 192 yards, way down the hill.
He's going to play closer to 170 yards, Rich. You're going to have to reduce that distance by at least a couple of clubs. And consequently, if you hit one hanging up in the air, if you get a breeze that goes through that valley, it's going to start to sort of move that ball around. So just keep your eyes open there where that breeze is coming from.
Good-looking shot right here. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Now 2 to the good side. Frank, what's the key here at the 5th hole? It's par 4, 424 yards.
The first real stringent tee shot of the day. 3 bunkers. First one not really in play. That third one in the distance, unless you're someone like a Bubba Watson, you should be able to aim at that and not reach it.
Beautiful looking shot right here. Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Frank, what are you thinking about on this approach here at the 5th?
Once again, with a good drive, you're left with a scoring club. By that I mean a short iron. Gives you a lot more options and a lot more flags you can go at. Even with a flag in the back left, with a scoring club in hand, you can virtually just go straight at that. The ball will not kick too much once it hits the green.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Nice par to remain at 2 under. Now at the 6th hole here at Banff Springs, it's a short par 4, only 373 yards, and the short par 4, Frank, all the rage in golf course architecture these days.
A lot more strategy involved when you've got a hole that you can nearly reach with a tee shot. It's how far back do you leave it, what sort of distance you want that second shot. All those things to compute. Straightforward, a little bit uphill. Basically, it's what you want for your second shot.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Looking to keep it going here, Frank.
Yeah, another example of things just working as they should.
Beautiful approach shot there and a good chance to take advantage. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. So close.
And yet it still counts for another shot.
Putt for par. He needs one. 2 under par for the round. 602-yard par 5, 7th hole, Frank. I'm guessing you want to take the big stick out and let it rip here.
Saw Rory McIlroy hit his tee shot here so far he had an iron in.
Good contact, good result. Can't ask for much more here. What a shot. Setting up for an eagle here. This one just requires a little bit of focus. He's got to beat himself up on the way to the next tee. You don't miss those putts. Clean this up with a tap. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Frank, you like this kind of design feature where you go from the longest hole in the course immediately to the shortest hole.
Certainly, golf giveth and golf taketh away. This is just minimally uphill, just a couple of feet, but you can see from the over a little bit of a longer carry, so just be a little cognizant of that. You don't have to hit it directly at the flag.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Almost. Wow. Pretty good stroke right there. Just to hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Par attempt here. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Just love the variety here on the front side, Frank, coming off that short par 3/8. Now we go to another par 5 to round out the side, 501 yards.
And the third par 5. Interesting front 9 here. 3 par 5s, 3 par 3s and 3 par 4s. This one not the longest par 5, but still reachable. This one you have to be a little bit careful though. This is probably the toughest driving hole on the front 9 with regard to par 5. Well, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
Well, Frank, what do you like here? Second shot to this par 5.
I like just the general terrain, Rich. Even though the water's on the right side, you want to keep away from that, which actually makes that ball go towards the general upslope of the green.
That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Missed on that one, Frank.
Yeah, not a problem.
Settles in over the putt. Ooh, that's a tough break with that miss. Routine stuff for Rory. That's a par. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Solid play, heart of the green. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. 3 under on the day. On the tee here at the 11th hole, 417-yard par 4. Is this a drive you like to hit, Frank?
It certainly is, Rich, but it's a little narrower than what your eye first sees. And the reason why, there's a tree sort of another 40, 50 yards down the right side past that bunker. So if you hog that right side, that tree can become a little bit of a problem for the second shot. What a great shot. That's fine.
That's a heck of a poke right there. 310 yards and in the fairway. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. And it makes the green in regulation. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
And getting ready for the putt. Keeps the momentum going with that putt. Stays at 3 under. Frank, what are we looking at here at the par 4 12, 442 yards?
Players are really focused on that bunker down the left side. That's the one that has to be either laid up, which would be 286 yards off the tee, or sort of worked off. This could very well be a 3-wood off the tee. Just hit it straight at that left bunker.
That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Regarded as a very accurate player, that shot says it all. 11 feet away. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Has his par. Thirteenth hole, par 3, 225 yards and heavily bunkered around that green, Frank.
It is, but that green gets narrower as the hole gets longer. Nothing wrong with hitting the ball sort of the middle part of the green here.
Birdie try up next. Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. He's made it. Well, here we are at the 14th hole. It's par 4, 442 yards. You like this hole, Frank?
I do, but if you were spraying it off the tee here, then there's all sorts of problems. Bunkers left, trees right. This is a fairway you must hit.
Like the looks of this one.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that is a monster drive down there, about 315 yards. Frank, take us down. Give us the player's eye view on this second shot here at 14.
I kind of like a second shot a little lower than normal here. It just seems to shape up to this green. Obviously, you're protecting against going left while you're trying to go directly at the flag. So just something a little lower than normal, I think, would be the go.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Might be. Could be. Oh, he's going to love it. Great putt. Well, now the par fours begin to stretch out a little bit. The 15th here, Frank, is 475 yards.
Certainly want to put your big shoes on here. Nice big slinging draw off the tee might help. Go a little further. It does go downhill considerably, so you get a little bit more run out of the tee shot if you did that.
Those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Frank, what about this second shot here at 15?
It's one of the longest par fours on the golf course, Rich, so you don't want to get too greedy. Green does open up on that left side. You can see that bunker on the front of the green. It sort of protects that right side, so you've got to try and bring it in. One of the few shots you could actually cut it into this green. This golf course normally suits a draw, but this hole here you could do well with one that goes in the other direction.
Good looking shot right here. Excellent shot to within 10 feet. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Made a good run at birdie. He'll have to focus now. Try to walk away with the par.
It's no snack, though.
Frank, we see it every single round. These kind of putts determine whether it's a good score or an average score.
Yeah, and just like that, a bogey. And does not feel like he deserves it.
-3 now, third round. Moving on to number 16 now. It's a par 4, 414 yards. And Frank, what are we looking at here?
It's another hole that'll favor a nice sort of high draw off the tee. It'll set up that second shot to a green that has got several different levels on it.
Well, this one has a chance to be really good. Up with the big boys now, Frank.
We saw that previous tee shot go 310. This one's further.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Settles in over the putt. Routine stuff for Rory, that's a par. Just 2 holes left here at Banff Springs, and Frank, another par 4. This one, short, 374 yards.
It is. It's named Sarcee, which is a tribute to the Indian tribes here and the First Nations of Canada. So just think about that when you're teeing it off here on what is not an overly difficult par 4.
This is just a superb performance. Great round to this point, Frank, and you can really see that reflected in his mood today.
Yeah, it just looks too easy. Swinging the club beautifully. Ball's going exactly where he wants it to. He's not trying to take too many risks. So consequently, he's getting birdie opportunity after birdie opportunity.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Frank, as we get set for this second shot here at 17, did you like the aggressive play off the tee?
Well, fortunately, you've got a second shot here, but now you've got to fashion some sort of bump and run. But it's a bit dicey trying to hit it all the way out there off the tee.
How'd you like that strike?
That was top of the tree.
Shouldn't be a problem here. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
So they'll tap in. Did the job right there. Here we are at the 18th at Banff Springs, 578-yard par 5. Frank, did you like to finish a round with a par 5?
Certainly if I could birdie it, that's for sure. And there's a good chance here at 18 you can, but there's bunkers galore. They're all in play for various standards of play. But the reward is if you can pump one down the middle of the fairway there, and then you reduce this par 5 to simply a drive and an iron.
So still swinging well with confidence right in the fairway here at 18. And now the second shot here at this par 5.
There's something about a well-hit shot. That's an absolute beauty.
So, third shot now for Rory McIlroy.